Back to the Dino Bidala show. Right now, very happy to have on the show Gay Valimont. She's a mother, a gun violence prevention activist, and now she's a Democratic nominee for Congress in the first district in Florida, a seat that was vacated by Matt Gaetz, and running a great race. The special election is April 1st. Here's where you can make a difference. Gay, nice to see you. Thanks so much for being on.
Thanks for having me, Dean. This is awesome.
So let's talk about, first of all, your story about getting involved in activism comes from a horrible tragedy, Sandy Hook shooting. And tell
Yeah.
us how that impacted you and your trajectory.
Yeah. A lot of I worked in predominantly black schools in downtown Atlanta, and I saw the disparities in the way the black community had to live due to gun violence.
Mm-hmm.
That was already I already recognized that. And then Sandy Hook happened. My son was 6 months old at the time, and so it kind of hit home. And so instead of bitching and complaining on Facebook, I took action and started with Moms Demand Action and became the chapter leader for Moms Demand Action for the state of Florida, and learned how to go to the state legislature, talk to our lawmakers, and make some positive change.
And I imagine it's fulfilling when you see laws passed and politicians actually advocating things that can save people's lives. That's what you're talking about, saving lives. It's not political. This
Yes,
is life saving.
it is. It is. And people mention to me all the time about talking to Republicans. It's pretty much what I've done for the last 12 years is talk to people that don't agree with me about gun violence prevention. And that's what it takes. It takes conversation to get past our partisan issues and come up with a solution.
Activism and life experience has an impact on us if you run for office, if you're elected official. You know, you had a horrible tragedy in your family. Your husband was diagnosed with ALS. Your 8-year-old son diagnosed with a rare terminal brain tumor. And you were their primary caregiver until they both passed away, heartbreakingly. How did that impact you and who you are today?
Well, I think it puts perspective
Mm-hmm.
on what's important and what's not important. Instead of wasting so much time with issues that are not going to put money in our pocket and let us save a little money so that we can buy a home. Those are issues that can go by the wayside. We have to talk about what's affecting people. And that's why I'm doing this. My family would be so proud of me. They would
Sure.
expect me to do this because I'm capable and I'm on the right side.
And you are, and I'm sure they would be very proud of you. And you're fighting the good fight. I mean, on some level, as I saw in your literature and your discussions, what you went through with your husband and your son informed you a great deal about the healthcare system and how horribly broken it is for people. What can you
Yes.
share about what you've learned and what you would do as a member of Congress to address it?
Yeah, and that goes back to my experience in healthcare. I'm an athletic trainer, so when you're watching a sporting event, I'm the one that runs out on the football field, takes care of
Right.
the athletes. And I saw those medical issues with predominantly kids that had Medicaid and trying to get orthopedic care for those kids that had Medicaid. Then 360, my family, we had great health care, absolutely fantastic health care, but both of my guys needed medication that was not fully approved by the FDA. So I had to fight tooth and nail for even a chance to get that medication and pay outlandish prices for it, because when you're searching for a cure or you're searching for a way, you'll do anything.
Yeah.
Um, and I was left with $100,000 worth of medical bills after they were both gone. And we had great health care.
Right.
Um, Medical debt is a real thing in this country, and health care should be easy. It should be there when you need it. And it should be easy to navigate.
Yes. I think health insurance is great until you need it. Because on
Yeah,
paper, like, oh, my deductible's low and look all this stuff. And then as soon as you need it, all of a sudden you find a lot of fine print. And it's gotten better under the ACA. I'm a lawyer. I worked at a big firm before ACA, represented health insurance companies. We'd find anything to deny benefits. It was horrible. I didn't like it
yep.
at all. That's why it's one of the reasons I left being a lawyer. I just didn't enjoy it at all. Now, the ACA made it a little bit better because pre-existing conditions can no longer be a basis for denial. That was a big
Right.
thing before. And I'm chatting with Gay Valimont, a Democrat running. She's a Democratic nominee in Florida's first district. It's a special election, April 1st, election day. So we are in it, folks. You don't have to wait to 2026 or November. We have this. So what, you traveling the district, I saw you're getting big crowds. What are the issues that people are raising to you?
The number one issue, and it doesn't matter where you live, what you're doing, the color of your skin or your religion, is everybody's going broke. And there's no horizon at the end of this because tariffs are coming and goods are about to go up. Um, People in this district are struggling with making their mortgage payment because of high homeowners insurance, which uh, my opponent has a lot to do with.
Mhm.
And
Well,
that's the biggest issue. That and we have 20,000 federal workers in this district. We are we are a district made up of active duty military, veterans, and civil servants, and everybody is nervous right now. A lot of people have already lost their jobs, and it's gonna hurt us here at home and our local economy.
certainly. And the first district's in the Panhandle. It's Pensacola is a big city in it. So people picture that where on the Panhandle. It's a great point you make. There are federal workers all over the country. It's not red or blue. They're everywhere. And
Yep.
they're losing their jobs. And if they haven't, they're afraid they're going to lose their job, which impacts their mental health, how they can spend, what they can't spend. It affects arguments they get at home with their family. I mean, it really is losing your job when you're the primary breadwinner or an important part of it. It affects you also your self-worth. Like it's a much bigger. And Donald Trump and Elon Musk clearly, especially Musk, the richest person in the world, doesn't care. I've never seen almost sinister in the glee that he takes in cutting programs and now going after Social Security. He's calling it a Ponzi scheme. And you don't hear
Yep.
Republicans pushing back. Do you hear concerns about Social Security? Because they are coming for Social Security. They won't need an
Oh
act
yeah.
of Congress. They'll just purge millions of people who they claim are fraud. And then the burden's on you to show that you're not a fraud, that you're alive. And good luck getting in touch with someone's Social Security when they've purged and laid off a ton of people there. It's
Yeah.
really going to hurt people. So what are you hearing?
Exactly. I'm hearing people are sweating it. People are very upset. This past week, we hosted a town hall for federal workers, just so people could come out and tell their stories. We've had people lose their jobs at national parks, which hold up this district. That is the reason people come to Florida is to see our beauty, the beauty of our beaches. And now there's nobody even there to pick up the trash. That's just one instance. All the federal workers that work here have very specific jobs. And when they can't get that same job at another institution within this district, they're going to pick their families up and go to where the jobs are. That's taking that family and their money out of our district. I'm concerned about our small businesses. I am concerned about, there's nothing that I'm not concerned. Our VA clinic is top of mind right now.
And I was going to ask you about that. I saw that you're having an event with Amy McGrath, who people know she ran for Senate in Kentucky, and
Mhm.
you want to build a VA hospital in the first district. What is going on? Because you have a big veterans population there, right? So what is
Yeah,
going on?
we have the largest veterans population of any district in Florida and
Wow.
second in the nation.
Wow.
It is a huge veterans population. In fact, 30% of our federal workforce are veterans. And so that also affects those 20,000 people. Um, what I'm hearing is, and what I know to be true, is that our VA clinic is at 140% capacity today. While our VA clinic gives excellent care, they don't have enough rooms, they don't have enough staff, and now we're going to cut 83,000 jobs from the VA. Services, and they say services will not be interrupted. Services are already interrupted. Everybody at our VA clinic is waiting to lose their job, filling out the what I did, the 5 bullet points, what I did last week for Elon Musk, and it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. We need to talk about taking care of our veterans first.
And what I see too is such literally it ranges either from ignorance to truly just lying on purpose. I saw Congressman Donalds from your state on CNN saying these 80,000 job cuts, it's going to make healthcare better at the VA and more efficient. Like you're lying or you really have no idea what you're saying. To say that, and he's saying services aren't good, but now we're going to cut 80,000 jobs. It's going to make it better. No one with common sense, that's like 2 + 2 = 7. It doesn't make any
Right.
sense. And I
It
can't
does not.
believe a congressman in Florida who wants to run for governor there is saying this kind of stuff when you have such a big veterans population there. I talked to a VA doctor in the Massachusetts area. He's one of the top doctors there, who said they cut already. This was like 2, 3 weeks ago. Services where they can't provide radiological intervention for people with cancer treatment, VA people, because this is already
Yep.
happening. And this, we haven't even lost 80,000 yet. Veterans are
Nope.
going to die from this. This is outrageous what's happening.
Yeah. And we have the our our healthcare workers that have been doing telehealth, telemedicine because we don't have enough space for them, have been told to come back into the office, right? So they're trying to do therapy with somebody online, a veteran that needs that assistance, and they're put in like cubicles with zero privacy. Um, all of our services for our vets are about to take a hit. And I don't have to tell you, uh, you don't have to believe me. It's going to happen. It's absolutely going to happen. And we're seeing it right now. It's just unbelievable. And that's the roadblock I plan on being getting there and
That,
speaking up for the people of this district.
and in the stopgap spending bill that the Republicans drafted on their own, it cut $800 million in funding for VA facilities to build a new
Yep.
VA, to expand VAs out. That's literally
Hmm.
in what they just did. They
Yep.
gleefully passed that with all Republicans, except for literally like a handful of Democrats for whatever reason. We don't have to get into that.
Okay.
So the how are the, you mentioned insurance. You're running against Jimmy Patronis, who has this weird position. He's elected as CEO of the state or something. But in any event, what I saw is, and you have to share more. He got a lot of money from insurance companies, and as one of the top regulators of insurance companies, he let them milk the people of Florida. Now, am I wrong? Is that too simplistic what I'm saying here? And what can you share about
No,
Jimmy Patronis?
no, that's not too simplistic. That's exactly what happened. Jimmy Petronis has taken 2 million from the insurance companies. He has had the opportunity in 7 years as CFO because insurance falls directly under his purview. He had the ability to cap insurance, to make sure that insurance worked for the consumer, and he didn't. And I understand that regulation on anything is a bad word for Republicans, but when it affects the consumers so poorly in the state of Florida, I mean, our in everybody's insurance has gone up 54%.
Wow.
It is outrageous. I had a lady the other day tell me that in 2000 her insurance was $300 a year, and now on a fixed income at 70 years old in a house that she inherited, it's $17,000 a year. $17,000 a year.
Wow.
It's not a small problem. Ask anybody in Florida what it feels like to pay your insurance. It's a gut punch.
It certainly is. And that's outrageous. I also saw that Jimmy Patronis wanted taxpayers of Florida to pay for Donald Trump's legal fees, and up to $5 million. That's a level of submission and just being a sycophant that I've never seen. The idea, like, if you want to donate your own money, you're Elon Musk. Okay, that's one thing. But he really wanted, and he pushed for it. And DeSantis said no because of their own issues. No, but he
Right.
wanted taxpayers to pay up to $5 million of Donald Trump's legal fees. Does Donald Trump's name come up much? Like when you're campaigning, like, I know they talk about the economy, but there's people on the right who are suffering as well. So is it not, does Trump's name come up? Does Musk's name come up much?
Not really. Not well. Trump's name doesn't come up much. Everybody's blaming all of this on Elon Musk, right?
Wow.
As if it's Elon Musk's fault. But what's going to happen now? I mean, people are starting to notice that the programs and the things that they voted for, they wanted somebody that was not the same old, but they didn't want this. They thought all of these cuts and all these specific program cuts that were going to make government more efficient were going to happen in DC. You know, they talked about draining the swamp. Well, the people that they're draining are our neighbors and the people we go to church with, the people we're in a bowling league with. Um, you can't throw a stone in this district without touching a vet or a senior citizen who is relying on Social Security, and sometimes both. Um, it is touching our district in a way that is painful for our people, and they're sorry that they are sorry that they cast their vote that way in the way that it's affecting them now.
That's very interesting because this isn't about Beltway politics or media outlets in the Beltway that write stories. These are real people being affected, and they don't care if there's an R or a D. next to their name. They just want to make sure they have a job. They want to take care of their family. They want to pay their bills. They want to lose their house and their car. And
Yep.
so you're sharing something that doesn't get covered a lot in the media because it's talking about like tariffs, and you have some people on the right going, that's not going to affect consumer prices. But you're telling me consumers get it, right? Share with us what you're
Yeah.
hearing about that.
Yeah. I mean, people understand as much as we talk about how the nobody understands tariffs, people understand that tariff means tax. And that if you are
Yeah.
taxing our neighbors to the north and the south for goods that we're friends. We're supposed to be friends. Why are we picking a fight with our friends? It's outrageous. I understand the tariffs with China. That makes total sense. I don't understand our relation or our president's relationship with Russia, which is also another issue. Um, People in this district are starting to see it and they're starting to feel it. I mean, when you start screwing with people's wallet or their health care, especially if you're a veteran, they're paying attention.
Yes, we've seen it. And have you we've seen a lot of video of Republicans having town halls where they're getting yelled at and they want to accuse people there being paid agitators who are there saying, I don't even have a job. You took my job away. How am I a paid agitator?
Exactly.
And a lot of them are veterans who are really outraged, and some are Democrats, some are Republicans, but at the end of the day, they're struggling. Any other issues that you're hearing that we're not hearing? I mean, is housing an issue there? I know Congress doesn't always affect it, but is housing an issue?
Yeah. Well, housing, with the cost of living, housing is always an issue. People that rent are paying higher rent because the insurance crisis rolls downhill.
Right.
That cost rolls on to the consumer. We don't have enough housing. We don't have enough affordable housing. We have allowed these huge contractors to come in, buy up a bunch of land, or buy excuse me, apartment complexes, and they charge you an astronomical amount. So these apartments are sitting vacant and nobody can afford them. Our young people may never be able to afford a house strictly because of
Personally.
insurance.
It's
Yeah.
very it's very disappointing to hear. How have the turnouts? I saw some articles that you were getting really good crowds at your events. What can you share about that?
Yeah. I've prided myself from the beginning of this campaign, even when I ran against Matt, that I would talk to anybody. My father was a Republican. My mother was a Democrat. I like to say I got the stronger genes. But I know how to talk to Republicans and I don't fear that. So I've had those conversations with people. People understand at this point who I am. I think we have the advantage of digging into the people here, having the conversations, whether they're comfortable or not, because I want to hear from everybody, because that's how lawmakers come up with the good stuff. That's how they fix problems, is knowing what their constituents need. And my opponent doesn't even live in district, so he can't possibly understand the needs of this district.
No, the him and in the other race, they're carpetbaggers, and Donald Trump said, "Okay, I want you to run." And like any state, you don't have to live in the district; you just have to live in the state. But how out of touch they are with the people of the district becomes very clear. Is Jimmy Patronis having town halls? Is he doing the things that you're doing?
He is not. He
Wow.
is, since he won his Republican primary, I think he's been in district twice.
You should give him a tour of the district. Say, Jimmy, you might want to know District One. Here are the things that I've been going to for years.
This is what it looks like. These are the
This
people. Here they are.
Well, yeah, they should have a welcome Jimmy Petronas part of the whole thing. So, by the way, there's
Right.
Matt Gaetz, and this used to be Matt Gaetz's seat, of course, until he was tapped to be AG for an hour, and then that was the end of that. Now he's on
Right.
Newsmax. Does his name come up much? Do people talk about him?
No, it's like he disappeared and he was never here. And I think the Republicans are ashamed. I think the Republicans kind of feel like their vote was taken advantage of, and I can see why. And now a total stranger is trying to come in and buy his seat because it's the reddest district in Florida. I get it. I knew I was never going to beat Matt Gaetz. He's the hometown kid, good or bad. He's the hometown kid. He didn't do much last time either, but he never did anything for our district when he was our representative. He made a big hoo-ha on Fox News, and he became famous for being that guy everybody hates. I want to change that. He divided this district so much that people fear talking about politics. And if we don't talk about it, politics is going to take us over. I plan on representing all the people of this district, everybody, and everybody has a say, and I welcome their opinion at any time.
That's great. And last thing, Gabe, because the election is April 1st, and if people want to find out
April
more
Fool's
about you,
Day.
April Fool's Day, and if they want to find out more, if they want to donate, they want to volunteer, they want to see, maybe they live in the first district or they have a family member in the first district. What's the website and what do you have to say to them?
Um, yeah, please join our campaign. We are having people join our campaign from across the country, making phone calls for us, coming into district, knocking on doors. Pensacola is beautiful this time of year. I would love to have your help. You can go to gayforcongress.com, and that's easy to remember because you can't say gay in Florida.
That's very funny. That's great. Again, gayforcongress.com. I know you've been raising a lot of money because people are invested in it. They see this as a winnable race, especially because your opponent is not from the area, not well liked, and his policies objectively have been bad for Florida. This could be a huge upset. So,
It could
Gay, it was
be.
great chatting with you. I wish you the best. And if you win, you get sworn in right away. Then we'll have you back on as a member of Congress in mid-April.
Absolutely. I would
Uh,
love to come on. Thank you so much, Dean.
sure. Have a great day, my friend. Best
You
of
too.
luck. Bye bye.